Before I talk about it in the episodes, I have to talk about the fact that Jesus, they really have been overdoing the sad music. Typically, when the episode, gets to its closing, Jenna realizes she's done something wrong and they start playing some sad background music while one of the characters talk to her. And it was fine in the first season, but it's definitely getting bland and stale and being used way too much by the time we're on the second season. It's not really sad anymore, it's really annoying. That is definitely my biggest pet peeve. I will say, even though this was, obviously a show I used to watch when I was younger, out of all the Disney shows, I haven't seen any actors I recognize appear um, in 2 seasons. Like, I haven't just seen, someone from Good Luck Charlie pop in one episode. And that actor be, a completely different character. Which kind of sucks. I like seeing other actors in the show. But that hasn't happened in 2 seasons. Hopefully it happens at least once in the third. Stuck in the Water Park is actually a two-parter. There's no other two-parters, but they end up spending a bunch of money at a water park and they need to figure out how to pay it without their parents knowing. And they end up divulging that a plan, which is a very shitty plan. They involve their parents in that plan, where they compete in these water Olympics or whatever for like 1,000 splash bucks. So it's like, water park money, which would pay off their bill. But they invite their parents along. So they're going to have to pay off the bill, and their parents are going to be like, hey, we only got like $100. What's up with that? They didn't really think that through. Let's see. Stuck in a commercial, Jenna gets upset because her dad wants to air a commercial of her pooping in a diaper, and she thinks that the nickname will stick around even though it's happened like a long time ago, and she was a baby. So she's really upset about that, so she tries to help make a new commercial for them to air. And the new commercial they use is very underwhelming. Not that the other one was very good. Stuck in the school photo. They all take bad school photos. There's a little plot point with Ellie pretending to be Harley, Jenna's character. And, it's the first time, actually, I do want to mention this. It's the first time they've had a school setting. Because, there's so many characters that they need to focus on that, sending them to school probably isn't the best option. So this is the first time we've seen the characters in school. And it only happens twice that I can think of in the show. If it even does twice. I might be just thinking of the same episode. Stuck in a slushy war. Boring. Stuck in the garage sale. Don't even really remember it. Stuck in the Beast Day party. The twins find out that they're technically not twins because one of them was born at 11 p.m. and one of them was born at 12 in the morning. And the parents didn't know that, so Beast has kind of been screwed out of a birthday. So that he tries to help make his birthday really good, but ends up basically just doing stuff he wants, which obviously would make him kind of a dick, but they try and near the end of the episode say it's okay because he did one thing for him. Beast will be like, oh, hey, I want this hot dog thing. And then the other kid will be like, no, that's dumb. You need to go bigger. And then tell him something that he clearly wants. But we find out that he actually invited Dumpster Jack over. And he really likes Dumpster Jack. So all's forgiven because he did one nice thing for him. They're little kids, you know, but it's still weird. Like, yeah, it's kind of a shitty thing to just throw all your ideas out and say, well, your birthday party ideas kind of suck. It was a very weird episode. And there was also one thing that I thought was pretty stupid. I'm not sure if it was this episode, but there's a whole basement's banned, you can't go up there rule that was established in season 1. And they're gonna give Jenna the basement. Whatever. There was a whole episode where they were gonna get the basement, not the basement, attic. I don't know why I said basement. But yeah, the attic. They say that nobody's allowed up there, right? Well, they completely contradict that because all the kids have to go clean up the attic. So there's less stuff and, they can get rid of it and shit. And they say that the kids say themselves that that's where they put all the stuff they don't need anymore, is in the attic. When they're not allowed up there. That totally makes sense. They put the same episode twice. Stuck with a bad influence. I don't know what that one is. Stuck without devices. They all get grounded because they're like glued to their devices or whatever. But what's her name ends up getting caught in the crossfire because she comes home later and she ends up just taking her phone away. That's kind of a dick move. Stuck in a good deed. Yeah, they watch a sad commercial, so they decide to help out some old people, and they end up regretting it. But then when they go there, it's actually really fun. It was an okay episode. Stuck dancing with my dad. Nothing really happens in that episode. Harley made a new invention that she wants to give to the guy. The guy isn't nice, so she doesn't do what he says. It's a very mediocre episode. Definitely wasn't a big fan of that one. Stuck in a gold medal performance. What the hell? Oh. Yeah, that was something. I'm trying to think of their names. Why can I only think of Harley's name right now? Georgie. Her name's Georgie. Georgie becomes friends with a celebrity and just brings her home to dinner. And feeds her like really spicy food. And she says she'll come back later. I doubt it. They also bring back the character from season 1 that was in one episode that gave Rachel her driver's license or whatever. They say that apparently Jenna wrote one bad review and it got him fired because his boss wanted to hire his nephew, and he used that one bad review as an excuse to fire him and hire his nephew. But, they treat it like it's all Harley's fault, not just a bad coincidence that the boss was a big dick. And then he ends up finding out that Harley was kind of the reason he got fired, so ends up being a complete dick to her, even though he's a grown-ass adult. And then he ends up realizing he's wrong. It was a very odd episode. I really don't know why they brought him back for this very weird storyline. Stuck with a new friend. Because they had got rid of Ellie. She only appears in 2 episodes. And the second one, they're like, oh yeah, there's this cool, like, camp with all this stuff she likes. But she has to leave Harley behind, and it's supposed to be like this sad thing. Even though Ellie had only appeared a handful of times in season 1, and she's not like a crazy likable character. She's not a hateable character either. She was just kind of there. But yeah, Ellie's gone now. I don't think she'll be in the next season. They just kind of wrote her out of the show and gave Harley a new friend, though her friend only appears in 1 episode this season. So I don't know how many episodes she'll appear in the next season. Stuck in the babysitting nightmare. Just another babysitting episode. They had one of these before. The neighbors be a complete dick. They invite people over. They invite the Diaz parents over just to be like, hey, we kind of hate you. But they didn't tell them that's why they were inviting them over. And then they come home and the treehouse is broken and they get mad at Jenna. And Georgie and Ethan and Rachel ended up destroying the car or whatever. I actually really liked this episode, but I just don't really know how to talk about that episode. Because it was very confusing. It was just another babysitting episode. Stuck in the Diaz Awards. They basically do an iCarly thing. I'm not saying this episode was bad, but they just do a bunch of flashbacks to stuff that have happened in the show before, which is something iCarly did every season. And there are like 5 seasons. And most shows have never done that before that I've seen. No other Disney show or Nickelodeon. It was something that was just an iCarly thing. Well, Stuck in the Middle brought it in for their final episode of season 2. And honestly, the ending of this episode was really good and felt like a series finale. But there's another season. Kind of disappointing because it was a pretty good ending. Though, like I said, it does feel a lot like iCarly. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. But that was definitely the vibes I was getting.